Admiral Park sat motionless as the hegemony ambassador concluded the treaty presentation. The alien's six-fingered hand slid the document across the polished table. The creature's skin glowed with soft blue light that pulsed in rhythm with its three hearts. "Earth will prosper under our guidance," Ambassador Trell said. "Your species will find its rightful place among the stars." Park nodded politely but felt his stomach tighten. Something about these aliens felt wrong from the first transmission 3 months ago. Their technology was centuries beyond Earth's capabilities: ships that moved impossibly fast, weapons that could destroy mountains, and communication systems that worked across vast distances instantly. "The Assembly of Nations is honored by your confidence," Park replied, signing the document with practiced calm. After the meeting, Park walked through the underground bunker beneath Seoul. His footsteps echoed in the concrete hallway. He entered his secured office and immediately contacted General Kim and Director Lee on an encrypted channel. "They're moving ships into Jupiter's orbit now," Kim reported, her face serious on the screen. "Just as you predicted. They claimed those would arrive next month," Lee added. "They lied." Park nodded. "Activate Ghost Protocol. Tell Captain Han to begin Phase 1. In a hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Captain Han received the encrypted message. Around him, 500 of Earth's most advanced stealth vessels, ships that officially didn't exist, prepared for a war humanity hoped would never come. The Ghost Protocol had begun as a small project after first contact. While world leaders celebrated the arrival of advanced aliens, a small group of military officers noticed troubling patterns. The aliens always insisted on meeting at locations they chose. They never allowed full scans of their ships. Their treaties gave them access to Earth's resources while offering vague promises in return. "Sir, we've confirmed the hegemony has placed weapons platforms in Mars orbit," Lieutenant Khan reported to Han. "They're disguised as research stations." Han studied the images. "Keep our distance. Record everything, but do not engage." The hegemony's plan was becoming clear. They had done this dozens of times before with other worlds: arrive with superior technology, offer friendship, slowly position their forces, then strike when the planet was surrounded. Back on Earth's surface, most humans celebrated the new alien friends. Schools taught children about the wonders of the galaxy. Governments built welcome centers and trading posts. The aliens shared small technological advances, just enough to impress, but nothing that would give humans real power. Admiral Park met with his secret team weekly. Their numbers grew slowly as they carefully recruited only the most trustworthy officers. "We've hidden the new quantum drives in these asteroids," Colonel Choi explained, pointing to a map of the solar system. "If the attack comes, we can retrieve them even if Earth falls." "And the stealth technology?" Park asked. "Better than we hoped," Director Lee replied. "Our test ship orbited a hegemony cruiser for 3 days. They never detected it." The Ghost Protocol expanded. Hidden factories built ships with technology the aliens didn't know humans possessed. Secret training camps prepared soldiers for space warfare. Underground bases stored weapons and supplies that appeared on no official records. Meanwhile, the hegemony continued its friendly facade. Ambassador Trell attended human cultural events and praised Earth's beauty. His speeches about galactic brotherhood were broadcast worldwide. 3 months after the treaty signing, Park received the news he had been dreading. "Sir," General Kim reported, "our deep space monitors have detected a large fleet entering the solar system. At least 300 ships, heavily armed." The hegemony told the UN these are cultural exchange vessels. Park closed his eyes briefly. "How long until they're in position?" 2 weeks, maybe less." "Then we have 2 weeks to complete Ghost Protocol preparations," Park said. "Begin evacuating our chosen personnel to the moon base. Tell Captain Han to move the Ghost Fleet to their hiding positions." That night, as Park looked at the stars from his office window, he thought about history. Every empire in human history had begun with promises before showing its true nature. The hegemony was no different, just another conqueror, albeit one from the stars. But they had made one critical mistake. They assumed humans would react like other species they had conquered. They didn't understand that humans had been fighting each other for thousands of years, perfecting the art of deception and resistance. The aliens would soon discover that Earth had its own secret weapon, a fleet that could not be seen, could not be tracked, and was prepared to wage a war unlike any the galaxy had witnessed before. The ghost fleet of Earth was ready. The attack came at dawn. Major Jean woke to the sound of distant explosions. He rushed to the window of his apartment in Seoul and saw the sky burning. Orbital defense platforms, humanity's first line of protection, were exploding in fiery streaks across the morning sky. The hegemony had finally shown its true face. His secure phone rang. "Get to the bunker now," Admiral Park's voice ordered. "It's happening." Jean dressed quickly in darkness. Power across the city was already failing. As he slipped through the streets, he saw people gathering on rooftops, pointing at the sky in confusion and fear. Most citizens had believed the aliens were friends. They had no idea what was coming. Across the planet, similar scenes unfolded. The hegemony struck with perfect coordination. Military bases were vaporized before personnel could even sound alarms. Communication centers went dark. Defense systems, many secretly compromised by friendly alien upgrades, failed to respond. President Joe was awakened by his security team at 4:30 a.m. By 7 a.m., he was on worldwide broadcast surrendering Earth to prevent civilian casualties. "The hegemony has demonstrated its power," he said, his voice shaking slightly. "To save lives, we must cooperate." Supreme Commander Draz of the hegemony forces took his place at the podium minutes later, his tall, thin figure dwarfing the human translators beside him. "Your species will find prosperity through service," Draz announced from the occupied United Nations building. Resistance is not just futile, it's illogical. What Draz didn't know, what the entire hegemony fleet didn't know, was that even as they declared victory, Ghost Protocol was activating. Far below the lunar surface, in a facility unknown to the official space programs, Major Beck watched the broadcast with 30 other officers. The base had been built in secret over the last decade, funded by black budgets and disguised as failed mining operations. "Ghost Protocol is fully operational," she announced. "All 687 ships report ready. Hidden arsenals activated. Dormant cells awakening." Her second-in-command, Commander Song, studied the strategic display showing hegemony positions throughout the solar system. Red dots representing alien ships surrounded Earth like a swarm of angry insects. "They think they've won," Song said quietly. "They have no idea what's coming." Back on Earth, the occupation began immediately. Hegemony troops, tall, blue-skinned warriors with 4 arms, established control points in major cities. Humans were ordered to register their skills and professions. The most talented were taken to work on alien projects. Others were assigned to resource extraction operations. Captain Yoon watched from the shadows as alien soldiers entered his neighborhood. He had been waiting for this moment. When Ghost Protocol activated, his basement had opened to reveal a small armory and communication equipment. "Team 7 online," he whispered into the quantum communicator that could not be detected by hegemony technology. Awaiting instructions. Similar reports came in from around the globe. The aliens had won the conventional war in hours, but they had no idea about the shadow war about to begin. In orbit, hegemony ships established dominance. Their massive vessels patrolled Earth's skies, ready to obliterate any sign of resistance. Admiral Cax, the fleet commander, smiled at the ease of their victory. Humans were even weaker than intelligence suggested, he told his officers. Their technology is primitive, their military strategy predictable. His second-in-command nodded. "Shall we begin resource extraction from the oceans as planned?" Immediately, Kex replied. "This planet will serve the hegemony well." What none of them detected was the small black ship silently observing their command vessel. Its hull absorbed all scans, its engines left no heat signature. Inside, Commander Min recorded every word, every plan, and transmitted the data through quantum channels to the Ghost Fleet's hidden bases. 3 days after the surrender, the collaboration government was established. Humans willing to work with the aliens were given positions of authority. They appeared on broadcasts explaining how cooperation would benefit Earth. In his hidden command center beneath the Pacific, Admiral Park watched these broadcasts with cold eyes. "Identify all collaborators," he ordered. "Mark their locations. When we strike, they'll be the first targets." Lieutenant Kong approached with a tablet. "Sir, Ghost Fleet reports all ships are in position. The stealth technology is working perfectly. The aliens have no idea we exist." Park nodded. "Tell them to wait. Let the hegemony become comfortable. Let them think they've won completely." "How long, sir?" Kong asked. 3 months, Park replied. 3 months to let them expose all their systems, all their weaknesses. 3 months for them to lower their guard." The lieutenant nodded and departed. Park turned back to the monitors showing hegemony ships in orbit. They looked invincible, massive, advanced, powerful. But they had never faced an enemy they couldn't see. They had never experienced the nightmare of fighting ghosts. The real war hadn't even begun. 3 months after Earth's surrender, the hegemony cruiser Dominance patrolled Mars' orbit with confidence. Captain Jack stood on the command bridge, watching the red planet below. His ship was among the most powerful in the invasion fleet, armed with disruptor cannons that could shatter moons and protected by shields that could withstand direct hits from nuclear weapons. "Another boring patrol," his first officer commented. "These humans are truly broken. Not a single act of resistance in weeks." Jack nodded. "As expected. No species has ever." He never finished his sentence. The Dominance exploded without warning. No alarm sounded. No enemy appeared on sensors. The mighty vessel simply shattered into thousands of pieces, none larger than a fist. 2 days later, the hegemony's primary communications relay near Venus vanished in similar fashion. Within a week, 17 supply vessels disappeared without trace. General Rax, the hegemony occupation commander, reviewed the reports with growing concern. His blue skin had paled to a sickly gray as he paced his office in the former United Nations building. "These humans have no orbital capabilities left," he insisted to his staff. "We destroyed their fleet." Commander Vax, his intelligence officer, hesitated before speaking. "There are rumors among the human population about something called Ghost Fleet. Some kind of secret force." "Nonsense." Rax slammed his 4 fists on the table. "Search every hidden base again. Find whatever is causing this." That night, as Rax slept in his quarters aboard his flagship in Earth orbit, something impossible happened. A small, black vessel appeared silently inside the ship's hangar bay. Its hull absorbed all scans and reflected no light. It simply existed where moments before there had been empty space. Captain Universe's Ghost Fleet walked calmly from the vessel. The hegemony guards never saw him. His suit bent light around his body, making him effectively invisible. He moved through the alien ship with practiced precision, placing small devices at key locations. Finally, he reached the bridge. The night crew of aliens worked at their stations, unaware of his presence. Yoon walked to the main command console and placed a small black box directly in front of the commander's chair. Then he left as silently as he had arrived. 10 minutes later, Yoon was back in his ghost ship, exiting the flagship as mysteriously as he had entered. The device activated at exactly midnight. It projected a simple holographic message that appeared on every screen throughout the ship: "We are everywhere. We see everything. We are the ghosts of Earth." When hegemony reinforcements arrived the next day, they found the flagship intact but every officer aboard suffering from the same nightmare: human shadows moving through solid walls, watching them while they slept. In his lunar command center, Admiral Park reviewed the operation reports with satisfaction. "The quantum displacement drives are working perfectly," Captain Han reported. "Our ships can appear and disappear at will. The hegemony has no defense against technology they don't understand." Park nodded. "Increase attacks on supply lines. Let's see how they function without resources." The Ghost Fleet's strategy was brilliantly simple. Their ships, built in secret before the invasion, utilized technology based on theories the aliens had dismissed as impossible. The quantum displacement drive allowed vessels to partially shift out of normal space, becoming completely undetectable. They could observe without being observed, strike without warning, and vanish without trace. Across the solar system, the attacks escalated. Hegemony mining operations on Jupiter's moons were sabotaged. Supply convoys disappeared. Sometimes the humans left survivors deliberately aliens who could return to their commanders with stories of ships that appeared from nowhere, struck with perfect precision, and vanished into darkness. On the Hegemony homeworld, the High Council called an emergency meeting. This resistance is unlike anything we've encountered, the Supreme Leader admitted. These humans fight like ghosts. Back on Earth, the human resistance coordinated with the fleet. Colonel Min led a network of cells that provided intelligence and sabotaged alien operations from within. The occupation forces are pulling back from smaller cities, Min reported to Admiral Park via quantum communicator. They're consolidating around their main bases. They're afraid. Park smiled slightly. Fear is contagious. Soon their troops will refuse night patrols entirely. The Ghost Fleet continued its relentless campaign. Sometimes they would destroy nothing, but leave their insignia, a simple outline of Earth with stars surrounding it, painted on the hull of Hegemony flagships. Other times, they would hack into alien communication systems, broadcasting the sounds of human laughter or children singing. General Rax was replaced after his flagship incident. His successor, General Kroll, arrived with a reputation for crushing resistance movements. He brought reinforcements and new scanning technology. There is no such thing as ghosts, he announced to his troops. We will find these humans and destroy them. That night, Kroll woke to find Captain Yoon sitting at the foot of his bed. Welcome to Earth, Yoon said simply. We've been waiting for you. By the time guards entered the room, Yoon was gone. But Kroll's personal command codes had been stolen, and throughout the fleet, the Ghost Protocol had entered a new phase. They call it the Ghost Fleet, Hegemony Intelligence Director Vex reported to the High Council. The large chamber fell silent as the 6 leaders of the massive alien empire leaned forward to hear better. We've lost 23% of our occupation force, and morale is collapsing. The Supreme Leader's skin darkened with anger. How can a defeated species cause such damage? Their technology was centuries behind ours. Vex displayed images of destroyed Hegemony ships. They had secret weapons. Technology they kept hidden. Our forces report ships that appear from nowhere, strike, and vanish completely. On the viewscreen, footage showed a Hegemony cruiser suddenly exploding for no apparent reason. No enemy vessel was visible before or after the attack. We cannot fight what we cannot see, one council member said quietly. Commander Jin's Ghost Fleet vessels now operated with impunity throughout the solar system. Their quantum displacement technology, developed in secret before the invasion, allowed them to appear and vanish at will. The ships existed partially outside normal spacetime, making them impossible to detect with conventional sensors. But it wasn't just the attacks that frightened the Hegemony forces. It was the psychological warfare that came with them. Aboard the patrol vessel Conqueror, Lieutenant Drez woke suddenly. The ship's systems had activated emergency lighting, casting red shadows across his quarters. The communication system crackled to life. Look outside, a human voice said calmly. Despite his training, Drez moved to the viewport. Floating in space, just meters from the ship, was a human face, a woman smiling directly at him. Impossible in the vacuum of space. Yet there she was. He hit the alarm button. When security arrived 2 minutes later, the face was gone. But throughout the ship, every crew member had seen something similar outside their own viewports. The next day, the Conqueror's captain reported that 3 crew members had attempted suicide. 5 more requested immediate transfer. They're getting into our heads, he told High Command. My crew believes this ship is haunted. The psychological impact was devastating. Hegemony crews reported seeing human faces outside viewport windows in deep space. Communication systems would suddenly broadcast the laughter of children before attacks. Some ships found their food synthesizers producing only red liquid that looked disturbingly like human blood. Colonel Min directed these psychological operations from Earth. Her resistance cells worked in perfect coordination with the Ghost Fleet. They planted rumors among human collaborators that spread to the alien occupiers, stories about Earth's secret defenses, about humans who could walk through walls, about the vengeful spirits of dead soldiers. The aliens have no concept of ghosts in their culture, Min explained to her team. They're logical beings. The unexplainable terrifies them more than any weapon. On Earth's surface, the resistance grew bolder. Collaborators would wake to find Ghost Fleet insignias projected on their bedroom ceilings. Alien officers found their quarters filled with holographic eyes that followed their movements. Humans don't fight like a proper military species, complained High Commander Zul during an emergency meeting. They hide. They strike from nowhere. They vanish. His second-in-command nodded grimly. 3 transport crews have refused assignments to Earth sector. They say humans can kill with their minds. Nonsense. Zul slammed his fist on the table. We will break this resistance. Execute 100 humans in each major city. That will show them our resolve. The executions were carried out the next day. The hegemony broadcast the killings across the planet as a warning. That night, 3 of their core worlds went dark simultaneously. Ghost Fleet vessels had traveled across vast distances to strike at the heart of the hegemony. They destroyed power plants, communication hubs, and governmental centers. No hegemony citizens died, but every home on those worlds received the same message projected onto their walls: for every human you kill, your worlds will know darkness. Admiral Park watched the reports of these operations from his lunar command center. The psychological campaign is working better than expected, Captain Han noted. Hegemony forces are requesting transfers. Some ships refuse to patrol alone. Park nodded. Now we escalate. Prepare Phase 4. Phase 4 was the most ambitious operation yet. That night, across the entire solar system, every hegemony ship received the same transmission simultaneously. It showed footage from inside their most secure command centers, their private quarters, their weapons facilities. The message was clear: nothing was hidden from the Ghost Fleet. The transmission ended with a simple message: we see you when you sleep. We know when you're afraid. We are the ghosts you created when you attacked our world. And we will never stop. In the following week, 37 hegemony officers requested relief from duty citing psychological stress. 15 ships reported equipment failures caused by crew errors. The mighty alien force that had conquered Earth in hours was slowly unraveling from within. The supreme leader of the hegemony received a personal message in his private chambers, delivered by means no one could explain. It contained just 5 words. You should have left us alone. 5 years after the occupation began, Ambassador Trell sat across from Admiral Park at the same table where the original treaty was signed. The alien's once proud posture was now slumped. His skin no longer glowed with bright blue light but pulsed weakly with a pale, sickly hue. Your Ghost Fleet has made this occupation untenable, Trell admitted, his translator conveying the weariness in his voice. We've lost more ships and personnel than in our last 3 conquests combined. Park revealed nothing in his expression. Inside, he felt a deep satisfaction, but his face remained calm and professional. 5 years of shadow warfare had brought the mighty hegemony to the negotiating table. The terms are simple, Park said, sliding a document across the table. Complete withdrawal from our solar system. Reparations for damage caused. Recognition of Earth's sovereign territory extending 50 light-years in all directions. Impossible. Trell protested, his 4 hands gesturing in agitation. You can't enforce such a claim. 50 light-years includes 17 star systems. Captain Choi stepped forward from her position behind Park. She placed a small crystal on the table between them. Its surface glowed with soft blue light. This contains detailed scans of every hegemony homeworld, military installation, and fleet position throughout your empire, she said quietly. Collected by Ghost Fleet vessels you never detected. Trell's skin paled as he stared at the crystal. That's not possible. Some of those facilities are in our most secure systems. Nothing is secure from the Ghost Fleet, Park replied. Sign the treaty, or tomorrow your High Council will receive a similar crystal, along with a demonstration of our reach. The peace treaty was signed the next day. The hegemony began withdrawing its forces immediately. Massive ships lifted off from Earth's surface, returning to space. Supply bases on Mars and the moons of Jupiter were abandoned. Within a month, the solar system was free of alien presence for the first time in 5 years. In Seoul, people gathered in the streets to celebrate. Similar celebrations erupted across the planet. President Kim, who had replaced the collaborator government, addressed the world from the restored United Nations building. Today marks a new chapter in human history, she announced. Through courage, ingenuity, and unity, we have secured not just our freedom but our place among the stars. What few civilians knew was that the Ghost Fleet remained vigilant. Admiral Park established a permanent defense perimeter at the edge of the solar system. Ghost ships patrolled silently, watching for any sign of renewed aggression. The hegemony, once the dominant power in the sector, found its influence diminishing rapidly. Word spread throughout the galaxy about the mysterious human fleet that could not be detected, tracked, or defeated. Other species that had suffered under alien rule began to take notice. 6 months after the peace treaty, a delegation from the Vorn, a species that had been conquered by the hegemony centuries ago, requested a meeting with Earth's military leadership. We wish to learn your Ghost Fleet methods, their ambassador explained to Admiral Park. Our people have suffered too long under hegemony rule. Similar requests came from other species. Earth established the Ghost Academy, where representatives from allied worlds learned the tactics and technologies that had defeated a superior force. In the Great Assembly Hall of the hegemony capital, the Supreme Leader addressed his troubled council. These humans have changed everything, he admitted. Their Ghost Fleet doctrine has spread to 3 systems already. Our control is weakening. On Earth, Captain Yoon was promoted to Admiral and given command of the expanded Ghost Fleet. Under his leadership, the fleet grew to include over 2,000 vessels, all equipped with the latest quantum displacement technology. Our mission has changed, Yoon told his commanders during their first meeting. We are no longer fighting for survival. We are now guardians of freedom throughout this sector of space. Earth established diplomatic relations with 12 previously unknown species, many of whom had been watching the conflict with the hegemony carefully. Trade agreements were signed, cultural exchanges began, and humans found themselves welcomed into a much larger galactic community, not as servants, but as equals. 5 years to the day after the peace treaty signing, Admiral Park retired. At his ceremony, he raised a glass to the officers who had helped create and implement Ghost Protocol. The hegemony taught us an important lesson, he said. In a universe filled with older, more advanced civilizations, conventional military power means little. But they never counted on human ingenuity, our ability to fight from the shadows, our determination to never surrender. Across the galaxy, the Ghost Fleet became a legend, a cautionary tale for any empire with expansionist ambitions. The name Earth was now spoken with respect and sometimes fear. The humans had proven that technological superiority was no match for creativity, courage, and the willingness to become ghosts to save their world. On countless alien worlds, parents now terrified disobedient children with a simple warning: behave, or the humans' Ghost Fleet will come for you in the night.